Welcome to Conversations with Dr. Skip Mason,
pastor, preacher, historian, author,
teacher, librarian, archivist, world traveler,
collector, family historian, avid reader, and creator of the popular Vanishing Black Atlanta Facebook page.
But a lot of folks who love history.
Most importantly, he's our dad, who loves his family and who taught us the importance of our history and having important conversations.
Join him now for this episode of Conversations with Dr. Skip.
Well, good Sunday evening, my brothers and my sisters. This is Skip Mason, and I am delighted to welcome you to a Nightcap Conversation with a wonderful friend, a Grady Baby, a Center Hill student, a Douglas High School Astro, and all that goes with that. He is the one and only, the legendary Jonathan Slocumb, who is going to share with me for the next hour or so. So what I need for you to do is to host a watch party. And don't sit there and act like you're still watching that BET show, whatever it is. Okay, I'm sorry. It was different. That's all I got to say. It was just really different. So share and let me welcome to a Nightcap Conversation, the one and only actor, comedian, the Black King. I think that's what he has on his shirt. Jonathan Slocumb, my homeboy. What's up?
What's up, boss?
How you doing?
Woo! I'm with Skip. I done made it.
No, look. Jonathan Slocumb is on my show. I done made it. Praise the Lord. Hallelujah. I had some.
I don't need to be on. I don't need to be with Oprah now. I'm with Skip.
God. Listen, man. I tell you, I'm so delighted to spend this time with you, to share with you, and just to just to catch up with you and see how things are going with you, particularly doing all that's going on in our world right now with COVID-19 and Black Lives Matter and all of that. And how are you maintaining your sanity? How are you doing, by the way? You look good. You really look good.
Well, thank you, man. I feel amazing. It was a rough couple of months, as we all know. My industry is shut down for the most part.
Yeah.
So I was going to ask you if you could let me hold $3.17 because I'm a little low.
I'd be happy to do that. Just shoot me your Cash App, and
yes,
that
sir.
$3 that $3.17 is your.
But someone asked me today, how am I doing? I said I am living by faith and favor.
Oh,
that's it.
That's my
living by faith and favor.
My sermon for next Sunday, y'all. Faith and
living
faith.
By faith and,
brother, I'm always looking for sermon material. Always looking.
Okay. Well, use that one then.
Yeah.
But God is amazing, man. Because the funny thing, Skip, is I really should be like, but I'm not. Like I'm really at peace because I believe. God got this, and I can only put that in His hands because I'm a day by day. Like today is a great day, and it's beautiful.
Right.
I don't know what's happening tomorrow. I have no idea, but I just got to believe that it's going to be the best. What they say, brand new mercies every day. So I look for my brand new mercies
every single day, and not only that. Look, you already know that the good Lord has taken good care of you and me. When things were going well. And so you're right, but it is a day by day. And I'm telling you, we've gone through a range of emotions. A couple of nights ago, I was talking to two of my buddies who, are on Broadway. We're on Broadway, and Broadway is shut down until further notice. And, as you know well, what it takes to do a production, musicians, backstage, production crew, the whole 9 yards, and then all of the actors and so forth. So, it is challenging, but you of all people have been gifted to keep us and to remind us of life's funny moments and pleasure,
Yeah.
to help us
Yeah.
to see, the laughter in it. Where did that come from, Jonathan? I mean, did you come out of your mama from Grady laughing and carrying on? Where did this develop?
Shout out to Earlene Slocumb,
Shout out
who
to
is who's
the
my mom and
mama
them.
spoken. That's right. That's right. I think I got.
Yeah, yeah. I've been, I recognize. Oh, they're my mom and my little
Hey, your
sister, my big
mama.
brother.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
See, you gotta
Um,
understand. Look, Jonathan. I'm the host.
yeah,
I'm the producer. I'm the talent coordinator. I'm the engineer,
director.
director, and trying to, hit the right buttons and put the right pictures up at the right time. That's what
Oh,
I was
so
trying
you
to.
do the Tyler Perry? Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
that was at my
right.
college
Written,
alumni
directed,
weekend one year.
executive director, producer, all of that
Right.
that he puts on his credits. Yes, yes, indeed.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So I was, yeah, pretty much. I tell the story that at every level of education,
Hmm.
elementary, high school, college, I was always voted most humorous. I wasn't class clown because I was in the top 10% of my academic classes,
Right.
and I was a student leader at every level too. So basically, I was born with it. I just always found a way to make people laugh without having them to laugh at something. But I like people to laugh because of something.
Right, right. You grew up on what side
Yeah.
of town of Atlanta, Jonathan?
So I was born in the projects called John Egan Homes.
Yeah, shout out to John
Uh,
Egan Holmes.
may it rest in peace.
The late John Egan Holmes.
The late John Egan Homes.
Yeah,
Yeah, over there by what used to be Ashby Street.
right.
And then we moved on up to Bellevue Avenue, which is off of what used to be called Bankhead Highway.
Bankhead, yeah.
Yeah, so
And you
that's
went to
when
Center Hill.
I did. Oh my God, that's actually Center Hill.
That is Center Hill. Yeah,
Wow.
that's
Yeah, yeah. Well, first we went to me and my sister went to E.R. Carter,
you went to your
which
Carter.
was yeah.
Oh,
Me and my sister went there from
okay,
kindergarten through I think for me to the fifth grade, I think. And
okay.
then we moved to where we lived when my pops got us a brand new house built and went
Wow.
to Center Hill from fifth grade through seventh grade.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
And then from Center Hill, you went on to high school.
Yes,
And
sir.
of course, that was the great Frederick Douglass High School, home of the,
Yes.
the, the mighty
Astros, baby.
Astros and all that kind of
Stand
carry
up,
on.
Astros.
Yes, yes, indeed.
There it is.
Great school, great namesake. What were your
The black
Douglas
and
High
gold.
years like, Jonathan?
The best. Those are the best years of my life. I
Yeah.
swear to God. Like that was. I can even. There's so many great moments because I stood out in so many different ways. It was
Hmm.
a blessing to be there. Um, I was raised Seventh Day Adventist, so there were a lot of things I couldn't do because of my
Sure.
religion.
Right.
And my church was right across the street from Douglas High School.
Berean.
And yeah, Berean, yeah. And so I was a standout because I played basketball,
Okay.
and that was one of the things I thought I wanted to do. But the coach at the time, shout out to Coach John Otis, and then Coach Dollar.
Coach Dog.
Um,
Oh, I remember that name.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, they knew of my association with my church, and when I went out for the team, I made the team,
Okay.
and the coach said, "You got to make a decision because I know what your church means to you, but honestly, I'm gonna need you on Friday and Saturday,
Yeah.
so you
Yeah.
got to pick one." So I chose the church over
Oh,
being on the
basketball.
team.
Hmm.
Yeah, and so I didn't go as far as I could have because if I had played with the Astros, then I would have gotten picked up by one of the top colleges, and then y'all would never have known of Michael Jordan because it would have been all about Slocum. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So Michael Jordan actually owes me because if I had furthered my basketball career,
Hmm. Hmm.
y'all wouldn't have known him. So he,
So we would have been watching your Last Dance on ESPN
yes,
as
sir,
opposed
on
to Nightcap.
ESPN.
I tell you, isn't
Yeah,
it
but
amazing?
I would have been with, I would have stayed with the Atlanta Hawks. I would have definitely would have been with the Atlanta Hawks.
Oh, God bless you. God, God bless your heart. Loyal to the
Yeah,
core.
man,
I tell
to the
you,
core.
to the
Yeah,
core.
man. But Douglas High was great, man. You know,
Yeah.
I was student body president, and
Wow.
I sang in the. Oh, there's my
That's
class
your
of
class.
'77.
That's a 77.
Wow. Yeah, man. I was probably like on row 4 or something like that. Uh,
Isn't it
yeah,
amazing
man. And
how we used to make those numbers for our classes
yeah,
down at the
yeah,
old
yeah.
Civic Center? The
Civic
late,
Center. See,
the
our
late,
class was easy because we just had to do the 7.
yeah. See,
Man, that's 6 of them eights.
I was class of '80 at Thurl High
Woo.
School.
Oh my God. That's
Uh,
8 and 0. That's
Eight
hard.
and zero. So that took a little coordination, but somehow they made it work.
They're red and black.
Yeah, and so you've stayed in contact. I think I saw some pictures on Facebook of you at your 40th class reunion with
That's us right
some
there.
of your classmates. These are some of your classmates from Center Hill, I believe. This picture.
No, no, that's let me
Who
see.
went to
That's
Douglas? I think
Sophia.
they went to Douglas
That's
with you.
Sophia. Sophia Ophelia.
Uh huh.
I don't know who the other people are.
Okay.
Yeah, they're just classmates. I don't know.
Yeah, yeah. But good old Douglas High, and I
Yeah,
mean,
man. And you know what, Skip? I think I'm one of the few people I know every word to the school song. Like I was that devoted to my school. Like I sang the song, and we started a radio station, WFDA, the voice of the Astros. I was a DJ. Yeah, man. I got all kinds of memories. I go for days of talking about good old days of Douglas
Douglas has produced some great graduates. Let me put this up. They had something.
that I wasn't
That
invited
you were
to.
not invited to, and shame on them too for
No.
that. But of course, you got the mayor, and you got Michael
Yeah.
Julian Vaughn, and Marvin
Mm-hmm.
Arrington, and some other folks
Mm-hmm.
whose names are too small for me to see right now. But because I got my Dollar Tree readers on, but you really made your mark at Douglas High School. And
Mm-hmm.
after Douglas, what happened? What next for you? You went to Oakwood.
So so that's kind of like a miraculous story. I went to Oakwood, but I wasn't supposed to go to Oakwood.
Okay.
I wanted to go so bad, and my mom and I, through our own little we had a little thing we had to try to convince my pops
Okay.
for me to go because my pops is if you don't go to college after high school,
Hmm.
you got to go to work. And my pops was in building services, janitorial services, and
Okay.
always offered me a job. And I had this thing called an ego that would not allow Jonathan Slocumb to be a janitor,
Right.
even though my whole life was because of the great work that my father did, but
That's
I was
about
too
that.
proud.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah, so we had to, come up with something. So something happened, and my pop said, "Okay, we can take him down there, but hey, we don't have no money." So I get to Oakwood College,
Okay.
and long story short, found out that there was a scholarship waiting for me
Okay.
that I knew nothing about, and so I ended up staying. And the beginning of my Oakwood, that's not Oakwood.
Is that
That
post
picture is when
Oakwood?
I was. Yeah, that's well, you know what? I'm not sure. No, it had to be post Oakwood because I started perming my hair when I came back from Oakwood. That was when I think I sent that picture in when I was trying to be the S curl man. That was my goal in
Oh,
life.
okay. Okay. Well, we all remember that to be the S curl man and
Man,
and be on that box.
on that box. Right, right, right. And I actually knew one of the guys that won is from Atlanta, Michael Jinks. He was one.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. That's
So
funny.
so you made it to Oakwood. You got the scholarship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
that was a good experience for you.
was amazing. That's another amazing. I mean, that's when I knew that I was probably going to be doing something in this area, in this field. Uh, Again, I get there, I become one of the vice presidents of student government and most humorous on campus. And I was actually the first. They had Miss Oakwood College, and I was the Mr. Oakwood
Mr.
College.
Oakwood.
You
Wow.
know, yeah. And so I had gotten an actual 2 year scholarship. But at the end of the 2 years, I wanted to stay because I had a great time being there. But my scholarship money ran out,
Okay.
and on the last day, prior to me leaving the next day to go back home, I got called to one of the dormitories for evening worship,
Hmm.
and so it was my last day, last night, and at the end, this lady came to the front and asked me to come to the front, and she said, "Well, we know you're going home tomorrow, and we are not happy. We are sad that you're leaving the campus,
Right.
and honestly, we don't think this campus can actually function without you here."
Wow.
And then right after that, two ladies came down the center aisle with one of those outdoor garbage cans filled with money, and the student body paid for my next 2 years of college.
Unbelievable.
And that's when I kind of knew I'm gonna be doing, because there were letters and stuff in the garbage can from people transferring money from their account to my account, and
Yeah.
people saying stuff like this one. I'll never forget this one letter. The lady said that her daughter had always, suffered with low self-esteem, but she worked in the cafeteria. And every morning I see her, I say, "Hey, good morning, beautiful." Just being kind, but that meant
Right.
the world to her.
Right.
And when she heard that I was leaving, she called her mom and said, "Can we do anything?" And she, wanted to make her contribution so that I could continue to do what I've been doing with her. So
What a blessing,
yeah,
man.
yeah, it was quite a blessing, man.
Yeah.
It's quite
I
a
know you.
story. So
You had to have been overwhelmed by that. I'm sure.
are you kidding me? I
Yeah.
mean, of course I
Wow.
was. Of course I was. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
So,
Good times.
where did the genius of Jonathan Slocumb? I mean, it's developing all along. At each
Yeah.
interval, as you said, elementary, high
Hmm.
school, and now college. So,
Hmm.
after
Hmm.
college, did you come back to Atlanta?
I I did. I majored in broadcasting,
Okay.
and I came back to Atlanta, and I worked in radio. I worked at WCLK for a little while.
Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I worked
That's
at
as far as college
for a
radio,
minute.
for those of you who may
Yeah,
not know. Yeah.
right. Then I worked at Z93 for a little
Okay.
while. And then I worked in Marietta. They had two radio stations that were side by side, owned by the same company.
Owned by the
One
same.
was one
Wow.
was big band. One was big band nostalgia music,
Okay.
WCOB, and I was on air there. And then next door, I would leave that station, and then I would go to my next station, which is the country western station, WBIE Country 101. That was
Wow. That's amazing. Tell us about your CLK experience, and I'm gonna let you talk for a second so I can open the door for my son. Not only I'm the producer, the host, the director, I'm the door opener
oh, that.
as well. Go ahead, but tell us about your radio experience.
Well, it was shout out to Wonderland Stokes and Greg Lockett, and who else was there back then? Because I was on the gospel side on Sundays with them. That's when I was kind of beginning this whole stab at comedy. I was working in corporate America, I think, at the time, and
Hmm.
I would work on the Sundays, some Sundays with Wonderland Stokes
Oh, I
and
remember one.
Rock Lock. Yeah,
Yeah,
Greg Lockett and Rodell Lewis. We
Lewis.
were all a part of that. Yeah, because I was, heavily into gospel music at the time,
Right.
and so I was a choir director, and then I would, be on the radio station at WCLK. It was fun times, man. We
Oh,
were a little bit before our time, because there was no comedians on radio at that time. So I was on with them. And then I started doing call-ins
uh-huh.
on V103 with Mike Roberts and Carol Blackman.
Oh, wow.
And that's when the comedy started from there. when I would, they would have different subjects, they have different guests, and I would come on and hang out with Mike Roberts and Carol Blackman. Shout out to them at D103.
That was such a great combination. Mike and
Oh
Carol
yeah.
in the morning.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Good, good people. So it was kind of from there that things opened up with me for comedy because they'd have these guests that would come and
Hmm.
they would talk about me. You ever heard of Jonathan Slocumb? No, who's that? It's
Hmm.
a funny guy, so shout out to them.
Man, that's great. That is. So, where were you performing in Atlanta? Had you started doing some local gigs?
Well, okay, so I think the sequence was so okay, I left Oakwood, came back to Atlanta, I started
Hmm.
working jobs,
Right.
not just in radio, but I worked in retail and then I worked for what was then MCI, and then I worked for AT&T. I worked in menswear. What was that store called? Richmond Brothers in Cumberland Mall.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was just, and then I was started to MC stuff in Atlanta. I got kind of known for that,
Cause you
not
did
just gospel.
you did every UNCF event in Atlanta that I can
Yeah, yeah,
recall. Yeah,
yeah. I was always doing stuff for UNCF,
always doing
and
stuff.
then and I think what happened was so Def Comedy Jam hit the scene, and they had this massive explosion for the first season, and then the second season came along, and the question was, okay, we love Def Jam, but is there anything clean out there without the
Hmm. Hmm.
profanities? And so right during that time, I had opened for Martin Lawrence at the Fox, and then we did a couple of cities after that because he liked me opening for him. And so
Okay.
when Def Jam came around for year two, Martin recommended me
Okay.
because they wanted somebody clean. And so once we did Def Jam, everybody's careers just started to move, in different
Wow.
directions though. Hmm.
And so you were traveling. Atlanta was still your base, though. This was still home for you.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. I stayed in Atlanta. I like being, kind of Mr. Atlanta. Once you hit it like that, and I was on
And
Def
he was.
Jam,
He was
and
Mr. Atlanta. He was
yeah,
everywhere. Yeah.
I felt like it was hometown, and
Oh,
I was living the life,
and nothing
and
like that hometown love. Nothing like it.
well, that's the only thing though. You can get love there, but you don't get paid in your hometown. That's the truth. I mean, things have changed now, but there was a time like when I moved to LA,
Uh-huh.
and they want me to come. Oh, there you go. Well, that's the comedy record I did live from Atlanta at the
Wow.
Rialto. That was in '97.
Wow.
Yeah, that came right after Def Jam, I think.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so that was pretty big right there because they had never had a comedian to sign to a major label that wasn't already established. So
Okay.
uh, that was on Warner Brothers. Shout out to
Oh.
Demetrius Stewart rather,
Mm-hmm.
who made that happen. So that was the comedy album I did at the Rialto Theater. In fact, they had just remodeled it, and I think I was the first performance in that Rialto. It's
Oh,
still there now, right?
it's still there. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful venue. Yeah.
Hmm.
So you a clean comedian.
Hmm.
What's the difference between a clean comedian and a Christian comedian? Is there a difference between
Okay.
the two?
Well, technically no, but here's the thing. So after I did Def Jam, and it was a successful, appearance, but I didn't fit the moniker of
Okay.
the Def Jam comedian.
Right.
So I had to create something where I would fit in. So
Okay.
because when they did the Def Jam tour, they didn't ask me to go because I'm suit and tie and no cussing. I didn't fit in.
Right.
So I had already established myself within the faith community. Look at that. You know what that is from? That's
What?
from when I hosted the opening of the ML King statue in DC at
Oh
MTV
yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. What was I saying? Oh yeah, so Yeah, so I didn't fit the Def Jam label, so to speak.
Okay.
So I had already established myself within the faith community because of my association with gospel. So I
Right.
created what was called gospel comedy.
Okay.
And that's when I signed with Warner Brothers. And then suddenly there's comedy in churches now. I never heard of that before, but
Yeah.
pastors were bringing me in for their anniversaries and for the choir, just
That's
all
right.
over the place. And so that's where it started, but I didn't brand it properly. I didn't know about branding back then.
Okay.
And so now it has taken another dimension because a lot of comedians who are like really saved, as they
Yeah.
call it,
Yeah.
they use it as a ministry. They want to save souls, and they have altar calls and they lay on hands.
That
That was never
and
my
yours was
intention.
just about. Let's watch this clip now. This is not one of your earlier ones, but this really gives a flavor of the wonderful brand of comedy and humor.
So June is Black Music Month.
Okay.
So I thought we'd have some fun tonight with our imaginations. How many of y'all enjoy black music of any kind? Raise your hand. This is good stuff. So I thought we should bring somebody out here in our imagination to be a part of our program.
Am I supposed to see something?
Black music, not necessarily from the church, but it's for the church tonight. So we're going to pretend as if we're just starting the service, and we have
You didn't see it?
I didn't see or hear anything.
Oh my goodness! Did my folks see it? Am I the only? Am I seeing things? Yeah, I had put a clip up that you were supposed to see.
I did not see anything
on your screen, but I know my folks will tell me whether or not they saw it or not. But it was one of your shows. I think you do one. I think you do the James Brown and the Luther Vandross.
That was at Oak Cliff in Dallas. Yeah, that was a couple years
I'm not
ago.
sure what happened that you were not able to see it, but at any rate, we won't. If you can't see it, that means some of my other folks may not be able to see it. But it's all good. You can always go to Jonathan's YouTube page, and he has a collection of his shows and clips on that particular page. But your humor, you did imitations, and I mean, you were really good.
Mm-hmm.
Just really good with that.
I'm still good, Skip. I'm still good. You said you were really good.
You are still good, Jonathan. You did exceptionally well. It has only gotten better, like good wine, like fine wine. It gets better with time.
There you go.
But you were in so much demand. I mean, every time you look up in all of the right places, there were comedy shows that you were doing. You open up for Aretha Franklin.
That right there that's like at the top of my list. That's the greatest thing that ever happened in my career. That's number one, because it happened actually because of something I did in Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah, she was honored at the Trumpet Awards one year.
Yeah, that's right.
And that was, shout out to Zenona Clayton, who I love her, and the Trumpet Awards Foundation. They've hired me 1,000 times. Not anymore, because they've sold the awards to Bounce TV.
Right. But they gave you great love. I remember that. Yeah.
Great love.
Yes.
Again, great love, but no money.
That's right. So Jonathan, listen, everybody saw it but you. I don't know what's going on, why you couldn't see it. I'm looking at all of the comments. I saw it. So a little later down the line, I'm gonna play it again because I want them to see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But not right now.
So people are commenting as we're talking?
I see it. I saw it. We see it. Yeah. If I'm looking at the comments, yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on.
So back to that story at the Trumpet Awards, I was doing I was a presenter, but I also was doing the audience hosting. I keep the audience together in between breaks.
Right.
And this is one of those times when, well, I don't know if it was that show. No, it wasn't that show.
We'll talk about that one in a moment. Okay.
Okay.
I'm going to have a look conversation about that moment.
Okay. So Aretha Franklin and Earth, Wind and Fire were honored that year,
Okay.
and so I'm doing my thing, and it was a really good night for me because I was killing it at every break. And at my last break, I came out to say good night. It says my last one, and when I said that, like the place just went up. The applause was so, and it was led by Aretha Franklin. She was the first one up on her feet, and I was overwhelmed by it. And so when it settled down, I said, "Well, I hope I get a chance to work with one of y'all." And Aretha said, "I got you, baby." And then Philip Bailey said, "No, we got him." And then Aretha said, "No, I got him." And Philip Bailey said, "I got him." So they were going back and forth. It was really very flattering.
Oh
But
wow.
then the next day, Aretha Franklin called me on my cell phone. Like, "Hello, is this Jonathan?" I said, "Yes, it's he." "Hey, it's Aretha." Like, "Yeah, right. Who is this?" "No, it's Aretha." I said, "Aretha Franklin?" She says, "Yes. You was outstanding last night." And I came back, I was talking about you. I just wanted to know you want to go do some dates with me on the road. And I was
Mhm.
like, yeah. She said, "Okay, well, I'm gonna take good care of you." I didn't even care about how much money they're gonna pay, but she did pay well. She
She
paid
did.
very well,
That's good.
very well. And she said, "Well, I'm gonna have my assistant to call you. We got a couple of dates. The first one is gonna be in New York at Radio City Music Hall in a couple of weeks."
Unbelievable. Wow.
So I did about maybe about 8, 9 shows with her. Yeah, proud of her passing. Yeah,
That was a great experience, man. I tell you.
yeah,
So
man.
back to this one though with Miss Tony.
Yeah, I gotta see. She was being honored at something,
Something
and
you were
she
hosting the
started.
show.
Yeah, and I said, "Let's sing Unbreak My Heart as a duet," and I sang it with her in harmony. The place went crazy.
Oh my goodness.
And she put her hands on the hip because she couldn't believe that I was actually harmonizing with her.
That's quite a
That's funny.
interesting outfit she has on too.
Quite interesting. I think she came straight from church. Um, that's quite a Holy Ghost filled outfit, probably from New Birth.
My goodness, man. I tell you, I just want to share a couple of just some of the many shows
Oh,
that she's done.
wow.
I couldn't even put them all up, but there are a few that I wanted to
Wow.
put up that I wanted you to see. Just the diversity and the variety of
Wow.
different kinds of shows that he has done. And let's see this one here, "Laugh with Us."
But
Uh,
you know what's funny is
what?
some of the bigger things that I had done, I didn't have publicists at a certain point in my career. So some of the things I've done, nobody even know about. But I've done some really big things, but not many
Oh,
people
I'm
know about
sure.
it.
Well, you did you not have a publicist just because, or you just
Well,
just
you know what, Skip? I didn't really understand like what's behind them, like the mechanics of a well-oiled machine. I didn't.
okay.
If I knew then what I know now would have been different. But you have to have certain people to do
Mm,
what they do, to advance and enhance your career.
right.
And so I'm making the money, but I'm hearing about you got to give 10% to an agent and 15%. I didn't want to do all that.
Yeah,
That was my man Steve.
yeah. I'm gonna talk about Steve in a moment. Yeah, I don't blame you.
Yeah.
Wanted your money to
Yeah.
come.
So
Yeah,
I didn't know. I
yeah.
was, I didn't have, honestly, I didn't go through like the regular steps and process that a lot of comedians have gone through. That's why I'm not really close to any comedians because I don't have that kind of camaraderie. I didn't um, drive eight hours to the comedy club and then the promoter, was janky and because I
And
came off of Def Jam and these churches were like, yes, let's get him. They'll pay me, I found out that what I was getting paid at the church for one day, these comedians were barely getting that for a whole week.
a whole week's gig.
So
Yeah.
I had my own lane that I had created and developed. So
Was anybody else out there doing what you were doing? at the time?
Yes. Yeah. The reason why I got the notoriety that I got is because I was on a major record label, which is Warner Brothers,
Okay.
and I was based in Atlanta. But there's a guy on the West Coast. He's out here now, a good friend of mine named Broderick Rice.
Broderick
He
Rice.
was kind of doing the same thing, but he was only doing it on the West Coast in California.
Okay.
But now, of course, he's traveling all over the place. But that was, he was that guy,
Yeah.
and then we finally, ultimately met up and became friends and colleagues.
How did you get the gig for the Steve Harvey show? Um,
So I
tell us.
had moved to LA. Yeah, it
Okay.
was amazing. I had moved out here, and of course, I knew Steve because I
Hmm.
had we had done comedy back in the day, and
Right.
he had become this huge success. And at the time, his manager, rest in peace, Juan Hall, he knew that I was in LA, and he said, "Hey, man, they're auditioning for the show. They want to put together Steve Harvey's band called the High Tops.
Hmm.
So we want you to come in and read for this character named T-Bone." So I went in. When I got there, I looked in the casting room, and it was all the people who are real actors. Uh, um, the guy that played Boom Boom Washington on Welcome Back Carter was
Welcome
in it.
back,
He was in
Carter. Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Lawrence
Uh,
Hilton
uh,
Jacob.
Lawrence Hilton Jacob was
Yeah.
there. The guy that played Roger from What's Happening was in there. And I'm like, these are real. Me, duh. So I go to be casted, and they said, "Nah, I want you to read for Clyde." And I hadn't looked at the script, so I took it to the hallway, kind of went through it, add my own little thing to it, did my thing, came home, got me a pint of vanilla Swiss almond by Haagen-Dazs, my favorite ice cream, and I'm chilling. And then my manager at the time said, "What did you do at the audition?" I said, "I know. It was all those real actors there. I did my best." "No,
Right.
you got the part." I was like, "What? Yeah, you got the role."
Wow.
So that was actually the first episode when we got together as the High Tops, and consequently, we ended up doing I think 7 or 8 other episodes after that. It
Episode.
became kind of like a fan favorite, so
Yeah.
they wanted the High Tops back.
They kept
And
adding
then
to it.
for their 100th episode, the big one, I came back alone as the one High Top, and I had my own episode with the High Top for that one.
What happened to the other high tops?
I mean, they were still around, but Clyde was he was different, and
He
everybody
was
loved Clyde.
right.
The Mr. Stan Lathan, who was the director, he said he loved that I was easy to work with, and
Okay.
and they just created this script. And I came back. I fell in love with Regina, and I wanted to, go out with her, and it
Yeah.
didn't work out. But and so it just worked. And then they said that the costume people loved going shopping for my character because I wore authentic 70s
Okay.
gear from back in the
Right.
day. It was real stuff.
Real stuff, huh?
Yeah, yeah, that was fun.
That had to be an amazing experience for you, though. Be on the
Yeah,
set.
that was
Yeah.
fun.
And
Yeah,
you
it
had
was a
a
lot
good
of fun. A lot of, huh?
you had a good working relationship with Steve.
Yeah. I mean, Steve respected me a lot. It was from that he found his way into the faith community because of me. He wondered, how can you make people laugh in the church?
Hmm.
I'm like, well, people in the church like to laugh. He said,
Yeah.
man, I could never ever do that. He thought that he could never do it. And then while we were on one of the maybe the last episode, he got called from TD Jakes. TD Jakes started doing what's that thing called MegaFest in
Yeah.
Atlanta,
That's
and
right.
he had this idea to do a comedy show,
Okay.
and he asked Steve Harvey to host it,
Okay.
and I was on the ticket, and I think Chocolate was too, a comedian there. I think Chocolate, someone about three others of us,
Hmm.
and Steve was the host of it, and he was so nervous. I saw him pacing backstage, sweating, and
Really?
I said, "What's wrong, bruh? Man, these people gonna eat me up, man. They ain't." I said, "Dude, they don't. Man, come on, just do you."
Because
So he
he felt
goes out there.
that was not his audience.
Absolutely, he felt that. I mean, Steve ain't gonna never say no to money, so that was the big thing. So I would never forget. He went out there and he got a great round of applause, and he said, "Look, y'all, it's gonna be hard." He said, let's pray." And he said, "Dear Lord, please help Steve not to cuss." And that was like his opener right there.
That's a
So,
good.
you know, he did his thing. I could tell he was still nervous. So then it came time for him to introduce me. He gave me this really nice introduction, and
Okay.
I had it in my mind how I wanted to open, but it's one of those times when you know God is talking to you, and
Yeah.
God was like, "No, I need you to do something else." So I came out, got a great ovation. I brought Steve back out on stage. I said, "Steve, man, you need to know these people do not judge you because you cuss." I said, "These people." Then I said, how many of y'all cuss?" And people put their hands up. Everybody looked there. I said, "These people." So let's let Steve know. If you love Steve Harvey and you know he cussed, you love his heart, make some noise. The place went
Went up.
crazy.
Went up.
And then Steve broke down crying, man. I got pictures of that. He 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 was so overwhelmed by it.
Oh wow.
He just broke down crying. And that's when he got his entree into the whole faith community because of that night.
Wow. Well, listen, I got to play this clip because the folks are asking me to. They said we didn't get to see all of it, so
Oh,
I,
okay.
I'm going to go ahead and play the clip and
That I can't see.
that you can't see. So if you need to get you some Haagen-Dazs ice cream or some water,
I'm gonna stay right here.
I think I'm gonna do this.
And tonight's our special music selection. Set the atmosphere. Yeah. Yes, yes. A little reverb on the mic. Please welcome Mr. Luther Vandross. I do remember you showed me you loved me, Jesus. Hey, hey, hey. You said you'll be coming back again for me, Jesus. Hey, hey, hey. Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. My, Jesus. I want you to know that I love you. Hey, I really do. Long ago, on a hill called Calvary, my brother, hey, a man died that I might be free. Yeah. And then he rose again. Ooh, yeah. And
You couldn't see it.
Not a thing.
You were doing Luther Vandross. And
Oh, okay. Yeah.
oh, that thing was so funny. My God. I tell you. I don't know where you were at. Some church, obviously. It looked like a huge
Yeah, I was at Oak Cliff Fellowship in Dallas, Texas.
Dallas, Texas. Okay.
Yeah.
That,
Pastor Tony Evans.
oh,
Good
yeah.
man.
Yes. The great
Yeah.
Tony.
Tony Evans. There's some pastors that are like on my top list because
Right.
they really, really believe in what I do.
Okay.
And Tony Evans has brought me there about 4 or 5 times, and he pays well.
Yeah.
And he really appreciates. His wife just passed last year.
I know. I saw that. That was a beautiful service.
And in fact, she was laughing. She laughed really hard at that when I was there. She really loved my work, and I appreciate her. Shout out to them.
Of course, I think you've done New Birth. I know you did Trinity in Chicago, Pastor Otis Moss, some years ago.
Yeah, that's where I did my live recording. I have a live recording out right now. I did it from there. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's my man, Otis Moss.
Yeah, that's my friend. He's good. I tell you. So, well, what have you been working on lately? What have you been not when I say lately, prior to
Hmm.
COVID-19? What were you? What did you have in the
Yeah,
pipeline?
honestly, I hadn't like some things have happened since COVID
Yeah.
that's it's blown my mind, but I guess it was what I had been doing all these years was in preparation for these a couple of things that are happening in my career.
Okay.
Honor to God, man. God just like I got you. I tell people all the time. I said, "This is the face of God. Look at this. Watch this."
Hmm. I
Because
love it.
God be like, "I got you.
Got you. I got you.
I got you." So I can't say right now, but it's a couple of really substantial things that are happening in my career that's going to allow me to pay
Yeah.
some bills up, and be able to advance the careers of some other comedians. This is going to
Okay.
really seal the legacy. This one project, and then there's another one. But I will say this, and I'm gonna put it in the atmosphere.
Okay.
If the right situation happens, man, I would love to move back to Atlanta. I
Mm,
I want to come back, but I don't want to come back looking for stuff. Something's got to be in place,
I hear you.
you know. So some things have been put out there as far
Yeah.
as what I can do,
Right.
and if that happens, brother, I will be back in downtown Atlanta because I would want
And
to live in the city.
yeah, yeah, man. Well,
Yeah,
we
yeah,
we are in agreement with you that if it is to be, it will be, and if it's the desires of your
absolutely.
heart, God will
Yep,
make it so. Well, you've always been resplendent in your dress, sartorial resplendency. But you be killing
that's
it, man. Look
that's
at you. I tell you,
well, that's that's one of the things we're working on because I
okay.
decided to embrace that part of who I am.
Yeah,
They decided to call me fashionably funny. So some
I
things that
love it.
my brother actually shot those two shots
Really.
for yeah, he gave me a
Shout out
60th.
to your brother, David.
Shout out to David Slocumb Photography. Gave me a photo shoot for my 60th birthday last year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so we're doing something in that space because I have embraced that, and a couple of things I just embraced, Skip. I
Yeah.
I was always uncomfortable when people would give me these accolades,
Okay.
but I do know that I've actually opened a lot of doors for a lot of comedians, and
Sure.
some people of high, A-list. They talk about how their mother would only let them listen to me as a comedian when
Hmm.
they were coming up. They couldn't listen to Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor. They listened to Jonathan Slocum.
Right.
I heard that from Nick Cannon told me that. Lil Rel told me that. Uh, Dion Cole. I mean, people have known me, so I'm going to do something as it relates to building the future of people in this industry from an OG perspective, so to speak.
I love it. You've done a lot of stage work too. The last time I saw you, I don't know whether you remember, you were in Augusta with
Hmm.
Fred Hammond and
Hmm.
who else was on the bill? Was it Donnie or Kurt? I can't remember, but it was a whole production, and
Yeah,
it was
yeah, yeah.
so nice. And
Yeah, that's part of Fred Hammond's heart. Like Fred Hammond is a combination of so many people. He's
yeah,
got some Steven Spielberg in him. He's got some Tarantino in him. He got some Tyler Perry in him,
yeah,
and he loves music. He's got this brain, so he likes to do something conceptually that's different when it comes to live performances, not just music back to back to back. He'd like to mix theater and film all in one thing. So he's very, very, very gifted. Shout out to Fred Hammond.
yeah. Shout out to cousin Fred, as I call him. So you've done. Let's put this up. This is you and Brian McKnight. Where was this?
Yeah, so I toured. Man, that was another great time in my career. Shout out to Jacarius Johnson's
Yeah.
productions, and he wrote this play called "Cheaper to Keeper." Starred Brian McKnight Vivica A. Fox, Wendy Raquel Robinson, Carol Molina White, G. Thing Johnson, Kristen Keys, and myself. And we toured about 40 cities, man. It was a whole year we did that. Lots of fun. Brian McKnight is awesome, of course, did all the music. And Vivica A. Fox, I call her the boss.
The boss, huh?
Yeah, yeah. So that was some fun times.
Did you know?
Cheaper to keeper.
Did you know Brian at Oakwood or any of the members of Take Six? Were you all in school around the same time, or were they ahead of you or behind you?
Yeah, that's actually a part of my story. I really got my real professional break in comedy as the opening act for Take Six.
Oh, you did?
That's Yeah. When I was emceeing gospel concerts in Atlanta first, and then the word got out around the country.
Okay.
And I hosted a concert that they were in Chicago at Chicago State University.
Right.
And the manager at the time, Gil Hamilton, said, "Man, this feels good. Let's take Jonathan with us."
Mm-hmm.
So I started doing dates with them on the weekend. I was working at AT&T at the time.
Okay.
So one day I looked at my check from being cussed out by people from AT&T, looked at my 2-week check. Then I looked at my doing 15 minutes of comedy on the weekend check. That was it.
You said what?
So I was out. So then, of course, I knew Brian McKnight from his brother Claude.
Right, right.
Yeah, so I've known him. I knew Brian when he first started because he gave. I still have his demo tape that he gave me.
Oh man, wow! One of my good buddies, Dwayne Reed, used to work for the UNCF, and he sent me a couple of pictures to share with you. Back in the
day. Look at me in the back with the Winans.
Winans, yes, and I forget the name of the sister in the front.
Yeah, she was my manager at the time, Taria Washington.
That's right. That's right. Yeah.
Wow, you got to send me that picture, man.
I will. I will. But Dwayne shared these with me. But that's a great picture with you and the Winans, I tell you.
Wow. Yeah, I saw Dwayne. I think the other picture that you just showed me was when I was hosting the premiere of that movie called Revival in DC.
Okay.
And he was that's the last time I saw him.
Yeah, Dwayne he lives in DC, and
haven't seen him in years.
In years, yeah. Well, let's put the fam up again. That's your family here, and
that was the night of the live recording. That's my pops.
That was the night at the Rialto.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
It's so funny because I call my sister is the oldest, but I call her my little big sister.
Okay.
And my brother actually looks older than me now. I call him my big little brother.
Your big little brother, huh?
Yeah. And that was when I performed at the Atlanta Comedy Theater a couple years ago.
Oh wow.
Wow, look at that. Good times.
Gospel celebration.
Mm-hmm.
So have you transitioned to I mean, I know you have a strong social media presence, but have you been doing anything via social media during this time?
Well, not in show format. I've done a couple of things like what you're doing. Okay. You know, people will interview me.
Yeah.
But you know that I just haven't really. I haven't done that, and I know that I could probably benefit from it because people want to laugh, and I don't mind doing that. But I just haven't really put my mind into it. Not that I'm against it, and God bless those who do it, but I haven't found a way to really make it work for me yet. Maybe I'll figure it out if things don't get better.
Yeah.
But as it turns out, like I said, I live by favor, and when I do these kinds of things and people are blessed by it, they drop them in the Cash App and bam.
Absolutely.
It's like people don't mind, you know, it's like them buying a ticket or something. So
absolutely. And I need to post your website. What is your website, Jonathan?
The website is not functioning right now, but I'm more present on social media.
Okay, your Facebook page, you're on Facebook, Instagram, everything under your name, right?
Yeah, the Facebook is comedian Jonathan Slocumb. Instagram is I am Jonathan Slocumb, Twitter is I am J Slocumb,
Okay.
and the Cash App is $JSLOKE.
JSLOKE.
That's it.
Is that it?
That's my lifeline right
Y'all
there.
know what to do. We plant seeds. We invest and reinvest. I'm telling
Absolutely.
you
Hey, Skip, are you a pastor?
I'm a pastor. I pastor at the West Mitchell Street CME Church in Atlanta, right on the campus of Morris Brown College, on the corner of
What?
Yep. I was in Augusta for 7 years as pastor of Trinity CME, and
Wow.
last August I got the opportunity to go back home, and to pastor at the Great West. Shout out to all the West Mitchell
Oh,
folks. See, when Jonathan comes back to Atlanta, he's
I'm
gonna
there.
stop by West Mitchell Street. Okay,
hmm
I tell
I'm
you,
there. I didn't because I heard you say that it's something about a sermon next week, and I was like, did he say sermon?
I'm preaching every Sunday online because
Wow.
we're not in church like a lot of pastors are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's been different, but interesting enough, man. The viewing numbers are up. The offering. I mean,
Nice.
it's just a blessing. That's all I can do is just thank God for the outreach and the
hmm
ability to do things we weren't doing, sitting inside of a building on Sunday,
Right.
and limiting ourselves to the
Yes.
mighty outreach of what God could do. So the church is
hmm
outside of the building now. So
hmm
I look forward to you getting back into the city and
Well, I look
revisit.
forward to this. I look forward to everything opening back up. I was telling somebody I'm going to
Uh-huh.
really enjoy church. I'm going to really enjoy church better now once it opens up because finally I can go to church and I can just sit there and enjoy the service instead of every 5 minutes. High five the person next to you. Give me a high five. And high five. I don't want to touch Negroes when I'm at church. I want to just get my word
and
and be
and
okay. High
and,
five them. High five.
and
Ain't
look
none of
and
that no
look
more.
at
That's
your, and look
done.
at your neighbor. Touch your neighbor.
Touch a
And
neighbor. I ain't touching nobody ever again. You
ain't
ain't never
nobody.
got to be touched again. I'm so
No,
yes.
nobody needs to be touched at all. Uh,
Ooh.
but thank God you were, and we're about to wrap. I appreciate the generosity of your time. I just want to share a couple of pictures that I.
Hey, that's
Uh,
Mark and my man Howard Hewitt.
I thought that was Howard Hewitt. Yeah,
Yeah.
yes, indeed. And you had a chance to do something at Grady Hospital.
Oh, that's my favorite. That was last year for my 60th birthday. I said because everybody does big parties. I hosted actually Angela Bassett's 60th birthday party. It was glamorous, fabulous.
Oh,
I'm like,
I'd have
I want to
loved
do
to have been
something.
a fly on the wall at Angela Bassett's 60th birthday party. I'm sure
I
that
did her 50th and her 60th.
you
Let me tell you
did.
something. Courtney B. Vance
Yes.
has set a standard for how you're supposed to
Oh, I lost your sound. There you
okay.
go. All
Courtney
right.
B. Vance has set the standard. Courtney B. Vance, when I tell you he loved that woman,
He loves her.
the way he laid it out for his wife,
It
oh
was
my
something else.
God. Yeah, man. So for my 60th, I ain't got that kind of money. I couldn't have no big party. So I was working in Atlanta. So I said, I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna get my mom and them. We're gonna go to the place where I was born and
Yeah.
volunteer for my birthday. So we passed out cookies and gave some laughs. Man, it was so much fun to be back where I started.
Right.
And my mama was there with me, 82 years old.
I got a picture of you and your mom there. Yeah, there you go.
That's it. Now my sister back there.
And your
Shout out to
sister.
my sister,
Yeah, shout
Gail.
out to Belinda.
Yeah,
Yes, indeed. Indeed.
yeah.
Man, I tell you, that is great. Well, Jonathan, I appreciate you. I've always had nothing but the utmost respect for you. Look at you, man.
hmm
Look at the
Thank you.
buttons on that jacket. Lord have mercy.
Erica Campbell.
That's them thin fit boys attire, not for us big bones.
Whatever.
That's
You
nice.
can wear anything you want. You can wear anything you want.
I sure do.
Hey man, can we give some love to the mayor, Keisha Lance
Let's
Bottoms?
give
Man,
Mayor
I'm so
Keisha
proud of her. I
Bottoms
mean,
some love and encouragement
she is doing it,
and
man.
support, and we just pray God's
Yeah, man.
blessings on her. Because Lord, I
Yeah.
tell you, her hands are full. Her hands are full, but God is
I'm
able.
a star. I gotta get used to saying Vice President Bottoms, Vice President Bottoms, Vice
Listen,
President Bottoms,
call,
Vice
call,
President
call it
Bottoms.
as it shall be. Well, my brother, you have come a long way. And
Wow, is that me? My
that's
brother, how you
you.
get all these pictures?
It's called a little
That's
genius here
hilarious.
and there, and I'm so grateful to your brother, David. I can't
Wow,
remember whether this is one David gave me or
that's
whether this is
crazy.
one I pulled off of Facebook or not. But your brother and sister loves you. They
I
are
don't know, probably David.
probably David. Yeah,
I
they are.
love them too. Man, let me tell you, man,
But
this COVID thing, my brother and sister and I we love each other, but because I've been out here, I've not been that close to them,
yeah,
regretfully.
yeah.
But man, like right now, we're like this, man. I mean, we talk more than ever. For some reason, we vibe on each other. One day, my brother just sent me $50. He just said, "Because I feel like you might need it," and he
Mm.
was he was so right. So we gotten closer, man.
Yeah,
Which is another reason why I really hope I can get back to Atlanta, man, because I would love to just hang out with my brother and sister and my moms, just on the regular for no
oh,
reason, just to,
absolutely,
hang out.
absolutely. Well, we are claiming that for sure, and I appreciate you, and thank you so much for sharing with us just a remarkable career, and the best is yet to come. This is a season for replenishing, for
Absolutely,
rest,
it is.
for restoration.
Mm-hmm.
God has just had to shut the earth down and us down for a minute
Mm-hmm.
to look inward, and to get
Mm-hmm.
ready for
Mm-hmm.
the next thing. And I know that there have been a lot
Mm-hmm.
of unfortunate deaths and tragedies in the midst, and that is unfortunate.
Yes.
It's a part of the cleansing process. But we
Right.
we continue to
Right.
pray and ask folks to be
Mm-hmm.
safe, and
Mm-hmm.
practice social distancing and all.
Please,
And, and
please be
and
safe.
and we can't wait for you to continue to make us laugh. So I'm going to close out with this other clip of you that you may or may not be able to see, but I know the folks can see, and it's just an excellent way to close out. God bless you, my brother. I love you. I thank God for you, and let's stay in touch.
Is it anyway?
Yes,
Definitely that. Can I get a copy of the show some kind of way?
I'll have it to you before midnight. I'll have. Can you hear me?
Awesome.
See what happened?
Okay.
My son came home, and now he's on his game, which is pulling Wi-Fi. Can you hear me? Okay. All right. Yeah. I'll get it to you. Mike. I don't know what happened. All right. Love you. You can't hear me? Okay. All right. Well, we're going to show this clip and support Jonathan. And we thank God for you. Oh, let me play this clip.
So June is Black Music Month. So I thought we'd have some fun tonight with our imaginations. How many of y'all enjoy black music of any kind? Raise your hand. This is good stuff. So I thought we should bring somebody out here in our imagination to be a part of our program who's singing black music, not necessarily from the church, but it's for the church tonight. So we're going to pretend as if we just started in the service, and we have your new praise and worship leader, Pastor James Brown. I get ready to do my thing. You ready to praise and worship? 1, 2, 3, hit me. His name is Jesus. Jesus. Good God. Hey, Jesus. Wait a minute. want everybody this time to be the Jesus Christ the Lord and Savior. Stand again to praise. Then want everybody this time to be the Jesus Christ the Lord and Savior. Stand up again to praise. You want to get to praise? 1, 2, 3. His name is Jesus. Jesus. Hey! Good God. Jesus. Mighty Jesus. Wait a minute. Dr. Edmond. I say, Dr. Edmond. You know Jesus Christ, motherfucker, baby. You know Jesus Christ, everything is saying. I want to say to Dr. 1, 2, 3, Dr. Edmond.
I did see it that time. I saw it. Yes, yeah.
Hilarious. Oh my God. I tell you, that thing is hilarious. Well, God bless you, Jonathan. I'll get this to you, okay? You take care.
I appreciate you,
see
man.
You back in Atlanta soon, all right? Love to the Slocumb family. Love to the Slocumb family. God bless you. And this is another Nightcap Conversation with the great actor, comedian, and Atlanta homeboy, brother Jonathan Slocumb. $ J Slope. Let's plant a seed and bless his ministry and pray that the winds will blow him. No, we don't want the winds. We want him to get on that midnight train.
Woo! Woo! Woo!
That's something else. God bless you, my brother. Take care. We'll talk soon.
All right, brother. Okay. My man.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for being here. Awesome. That was totally awesome. All right, folks. Y'all have a great